Welcome to On the Bench, the show that brings you all the best sporting news, views and interviews from across our region. Well, on the eve of Bonfire Night, Grimsby Hockey Club Chairman Matt Thompson will be ensuring that the show begins with a bang when he joins us in the studio. Hi Matt, good evening.
Hi.
Welcome along. Well, never a show to keep its powder dry. We'll also be bringing you the latest explosive action from the ice rink where the Hull Stingrays were in action against the Brayhead Clan. Well, on top of that, we have paper talk and discussion led by our very own guy, Matt Denson. Matt, good evening. But before that, let's see if our local teams were on fire this week as we begin Team Talk. Football first then, and there was disappointment at Forest Green where Lincoln City let a 3-0 half-time lead slip to end up drawing at 3-3 against the Gloucestershire outfit. By contrast, there was elation for North Ferriby United, who made the comeback of the weekend, turning around a 3-1 half-time deficit to win 4-3 against Oxford City. Jamie Yates proved to be the hero of the hour with his 20-yard free kick securing the points. Well, there was less drama at Blundell Park, however, as Grimsby continued their smooth progress back towards the playoffs when they brushed aside Dartford by 3-0. Moving on to rugby, after a good run of recent results, Grimsby came crashing back down to earth as they were beaten 21-8 by local rivals Boston. In other games, both Scunthorpe, Market Raisin and Louth both suffered heavy defeats, whereas Lincoln put Sleaford to the sword in a big 37-13 win. And with no lacrosse results this week, that rounds up the week's main sporting results. So, Matt, another good result for the Mariners.
Yes, it was, yes. I was down at the game. Good game. Good football, to be fair, yes.
And in direct contrast, isn't it, with Lincoln City's fortunes and what we've been hearing this week. We'll move on to that in a second. It doesn't seem that long ago that certain quarters were talking about Paul Hurst and questioning his team selection. It seems only a few short weeks ago.
Yeah, I've got to say, me included. I mean, as you know, he's just won Manager of the Month. He's the accolade deserved. Listen on results, yes. Over the full course and where we are in the league, I don't know. It's a very fickle game, isn't it? Because I say 1 minute we're all saying, you know, he's got to be out, let's change it, let's do something. Next minute you're actually...
How fine is that line between success and failure, Matt?
It's a very thin line in terms of success. And as soon as you start getting to the professional sort of game, you're talking of luck and chances that are taken, not just the skills and abilities. As we've seen in lots of matches over the weekend. And
a great month for Paul Hurst. Let's not forget, Manager of the Month, Matt.
It has been a good month. Good results. I'm one of these where I'm also thinking of the results that we should have gone and places we should have gone and got points. They seem to be forgotten about at the minute. Time will tell. End of the season, we need to be in the playoffs and ready for it.
3 wins on the spin, round about this time. A little way to go to Christmas, but just how handily does it place the Mariners just outside the playoff frame now?
We're talking 3 wins. We just need to keep winning. We've been in this league a long time. We've got some good players. We just need to keep this momentum going.
Let's talk about Lincoln City. The big news, manager Gareth Simpson being placed on gardening leave this week because of progress made and performance levels. We were hearing from the chairman. He said really he feels Gareth Simpson's been given enough time. What's your reaction?
Well, they gauge the time these days. They want to give him 3 months. They want to give him a year and a half. It's up to them, isn't it? At the end of the day, he's not happy with something. He wants to change it. But let's be honest with you, they've not been playing too bad football. Yes, this was to throw 3 goals away at the weekend wasn't particularly good, but it happens to all teams. They didn't lose. They did get a point from it. I think they're quite a strong team, really.
What now for the Imps, as far as the players?
The players need to, they'll just concentrate. They'll just go in. They'll work under whoever they need to work until they'll get told who's the boss. And until that point, they'll just go out there and, do what they can for the team.
Quick word on Scunthorpe United. A very good win away at Peterborough United.
Very good.
1 defeating 5 now.
Isn't it up and down for them? I mean, it was all, doom and gloom, and now, they seem to be fighting back. Again, good team, good play. And what is good about Scunthorpe is he's got good support.
Okay, and as far as Mark Robbins, he looks like the man for the job?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
Yeah, he's a good manager and he's got a long history and track record in football.
Okay, we'll talk some more in a while. Thanks very much, guys. Well, moving for the grass to the AstroTurf now. Our camera crew went down to Grimsby Hockey Club to meet Matt and the team and find out more about the interest the sport's generating in our region. Have a look at this.
Hello, I'm Matthew Thompson. I'm the chairman of Grimsby Hockey Club. We play in the Yorkshire Hockey League. A men's team play in the Yorkshire Division 1 and the ladies play in the Yorkshire League as well, with 4 teams. I think Grimsby Hockey Club is important to the people in the club because it gives them something socially to do as well as an opportunity to be fit, active and get involved with a different sport and really show that this area's got some skills and positive sort of things for the community outside of the regular sports. In terms of equipment and the safety with hockey, everyone gets a bit sort of scared about hockey and the dangers that are involved. And injuries are fairly quite limited. They're very rare. Obviously, when they do happen, they can be quite serious. However, that's happened once or twice in my 25 years of playing. The type of equipment that's used is obviously a hockey stick and shin pads for the players. So if anyone's wanting to take up hockey, they're the sort of fundamentals that I would suggest they've got. Obviously, if you want to play in goal, then it becomes a little bit more protective equipment. So things like pads, kickers, and padded shorts, chest pads, and gloves, and a helmet, of course, add to the protection which is there. But really, the modern protection which is available is really good. Yeah. So no one's got anything to worry about in terms of getting hit by the ball. As you can see, I play in goal, and apart from looking, I'm not disfigured as yet. So in goal, some of the equipment that you might wear are the chest pad, which has got the arm protectors, and obviously a goalkeeping stick, and then on top of that there's a helmet as well, which obviously you'll see me wearing earlier on in the night. The goalkeeping stick looks slightly different from the one that the players are using. Fundamentally it's the same, it's just designed so that it's about stopping the ball, not necessarily controlling and hitting the ball.
Hi, my name's Joanna Waite. I play for Grimsby Ladies Hockey Club. I'm in the first 11. I've played for about a year with the team, normally either in midfield or a defence, depending on what team they put out. Hockey is a great way to kind of exercise, and obviously it's a good stress reliever after a hard day at work. So I come in an awful mood and I leave in the best mood ever. We have games every Saturday, most Saturdays anyway, and we get to travel kind of around the area, so we meet other teams, and we always have a social afterwards. It's good to kind of get to know them a bit more.
I got into the sport when I was 14 at school, and one of my teachers basically said to me that I was a good player of football, but why not play another sport? And that's what I did, and I had a go at hockey, enjoyed it and played it for a few years when I was at school, and then continued that on afterwards. Me getting into becoming the chairman has really just been a longevity sort of thing, getting back into the club, working with people in the club who are keen, active, and really want to do something to grow the sport. 7 years ago, the club very nearly folded, and without the activity of a few people, we would have lost the hockey club in the area. And hockey's been quite fundamental. We've produced players who've played for England and Great Britain at all levels, and we need to sort of remember that we've produced elite athletes from this hockey club and keep that sort of going.
Well, my name's Brett Churchill, and I'm a hockey player. I'm 31, and I've come from Melbourne, Australia, just through a reciprocal agreement with some hockey. So come across to play and playing for Grimsby Hockey Club as a defender. So in hockey you do have a lot of chances to actually go abroad to other countries. So a lot of clubs do have agreements to bring across imports or players. So we've done that, and I've come across, and one of the players from Grimsby actually came across to Australia and played with us. Well, I think here, there is quite a big league, so you do get a choice of different levels that you can play, whether it's social, whether it's more professional. So you get a lot of choice there, but then you also do get a lot of the social atmosphere as well. So coming to a club, getting to know the people, but also getting to have a run around the park every weekend.
So if you want to get involved with Grimsby Hockey Club, then come to our website, www.grimsbyhc.org. Visit our Twitter page or Twitter feed, GrimsbyHC, or Facebook on Grimsby Hockey Club as well. And from there you can find our contact details and get in touch with people to support the club and maybe even get involved and play.
Grimsby Hockey Club there, Matt Thompson. Everything looks well, and the club looks in a really good state.
Yeah, it's going from strength to strength, and we've got some juniors sessions as well, which we're supporting in the community, and we've got some good youngsters coming through. But more than that, we've got 2 men's, 2 ladies teams who are really doing well in their leagues, and really looking to progress and go further and give the opportunities for other people to play, the younger people to play the sport as well.
Rather interesting, isn't it? We were talking a few minutes ago about Gary Simpson, the Lincoln City manager. What are the challenges managing 4 teams in one club?
It's the challenges of managing 4 teams is quite difficult. However, that's managed through us having committed volunteers within our club, and each one of them gives up a lot of time to support that. And that goes from organising the teams during the week right the way through to deciding what tactics, where everyone's going to play on the day, and making sure everyone enjoys it ultimately.
And all this after the club's had its share of downs, hasn't it? Financial problems.
Yeah, about 7 years ago the club really was struggling, and it was struggling more about players and getting people to play and being recognised in the club. It's a long history in the town, over 100 years, And a lot of people have played hockey for the club who have then gone on representing the side internationally. And also, my forerunners as chairman have been presidents and with the international hockey and England hockey as well. So
and back to hockey, I know that's another campaign which is ongoing at the moment. How involved are you in that?
We're involved in that, and we're encouraging people to always get involved and get back into the sport. And it doesn't matter what age you are about getting back into the sport. You can be 20 and played it 4 or 5 years ago at school. You could be 40, 45, 50 or older.
Really?
To get back in.
It's that open?
Yeah, it's that open.
Still a chance for you, Matt.
Yeah.
What about the social side? That's equally as important.
It's very important, and a lot of the players want to play hockey because it is the social side that gets involved. So meeting other teams, but also going back to their clubhouses, sharing a drink or two afterwards, or having something to eat, both at home and away, and that's really good. And each year we have Christmas raffles as well as end of year dinners as well.
And meeting partners as well.
Meeting partners as well, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending how you want to look at it. But yeah, I met my gorgeous wife on the hockey pitch as well.
Nice story to end on, Matt, for now. Thank you very much. Well, that's the end of part 1 now. Join us in part 2. We'll be talking and reflecting with Matt Denson about the week in sport, as well as bringing you the latest ice hockey highlights from the Hull Stingrays. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Well, let's pick up from where we left off before the break with Matt Thompson. Matt is chairman of Grimsby Hockey Club. Matt, what do you hope to achieve? What do you hope your legacy is from as being chairman of Grimsby Hockey Club?
I think the most important thing is about giving the club some future and getting more people involved in the sport. Obviously, as a club as well, we want to play at higher levels and get people playing competitive hockey, but at the same time playing socially as well and having friendly hockey as well, so that people can enjoy it a weekend.
What sort of parallels can be drawn between hockey and football in terms of the pyramid league system?
Obviously, within hockey, there's a pyramid system which we fall into within the Yorkshire League. That feeds then into the North League, and then obviously into the national leagues as well. So ultimately, any hockey club in the country could ultimately end up in the top leagues.
What sort of spin-off did Team GB's performance in the Olympics have on a local club like Grimsby?
Some positive spin-off in there in terms of getting people just looking at hockey again and going, actually, I can play that, I can have a go. And it is a fast, dynamic sport, and it's something which is exciting as well to get into and play and watch. And you've got to be fit and have some good technical skills as well.
As an outsider, Matt, what do you perceive the image of hockey to be?
It's good. I think there's a lot of airtime as well on TV, and especially when there's like the Olympics and that. Again, there's a lot of games on. The focus has got to be it's got to be a peak time for your club, hasn't it?
It's very much a peak time, and getting people to play. The teams are obviously doing very well recently, England and Great Britain. So it's really building on some of that success to get people not just locally but nationally to play the sport as well.
Any real potential stars of the future in your setup?
We've got a youngster at the moment who's just been selected for some trials nationally with the colleges, and hopefully he'll do well. And fingers crossed he can follow some of the other guys who have gone on and
That's
played
great.
as well.
Great news. And if any other youngsters fancy finding out more about the club, joining, getting involved?
Yeah, just follow the links that I've given earlier and get in touch with us, either Facebook, Twitter, or via our website. Someone will be there to respond.
So no barriers?
No barriers.
Okay, Matt, for now, thanks very much. Well, from one form of hockey to another, we're now going to the Hull Arena, where the Hull Stingrays were looking to avenge their Saturday night defeat to Fife Flyers with victory against fellow Scots, the Braehead Clan.
The Clan have a perfect record in the Gardner Conference. They've won every game they've played. And they've won 2 here already this season. They're looking to make it 3 out of 3 tonight. Puck for Meyer. Here's Keefe. Drops it back to Meyer, trying to move into a shooting position. He does. The save is made, and the follow-up is not in. Unbelievably, that didn't cross the line. Puck on the backhand. Now twisting onto the forehand, trying to move out front, trying to get a shot away, and he has! And he's scored on the backhand! It's a beauty from Corey Tanaka, and it's the Stingrays who strike first. Strike first in this game. And they might strike again here as Pasha's wrist shot is saved, and the follow-up is put in! It's Tanaka again! Frank picked up, Jones doesn't know where it is, and Davis has got it in! Jones lost sight of the puck, and the Stingrays captain has made it 3-0. Tanaka will reach this one. He'll send it on goal, and Jones saves and holds on, and Fritsch is getting involved. A little bit of pushing and shoving. I think that's Meyer in there as well. Galbraith gets it out and then moves it on for Meyer, who is... Can he get round? He can. He shoots and he scores! Jordan Meyer's got the goal. Turcotte with the hit on Kavanagh, and then Salters comes in, and Salters has ripped off the helmet, and he wants to fight, and Jan Turcotte doesn't. And that is going to be costly for Lee Salters. Davis, Meyer's the option on the near side. Pasha, room to shoot, goes for the slap pass. Davis, and the save is made by Jones, and the follow-up was put into the post. There's another penalty coming on the Clan here. It's a cross-check. Oh my word, Stephen Meyer, he's not a happy man. Strong play from Harper to keep Jameson away from the puck. Oh, and is that penalty going to be boarding? It is, called by the referee behind the play. And then there's another penalty coming in here. Both referees have their hand in the air, and this will be for two separate incidents. The first one is, I'm sure, going to be a boarding call. And I have to say, I'm not sure what the second call is going to be. It was Kavanagh who called the original penalty, and then Perring who saw some afters and raised his hand as well. We'll have to wait for this to get sorted out. Turcotte down the boards, and Tanaka is onto it. He's got lots of options, trailing the play, and scoring is Dominic Osman. Much of the warm-up, but he's played very regularly in this game. Lots of shifts. Clan moving in, really dangerous, and a goal. Really well taken by Salters. Gone to the bench for the extra skater. It's 4-on-3 on the delayed penalty. Chartrain, Meyer! Jordan Meyer on the delayed penalty. Stephen Meyer is really unhappy. The Stingrays are absolutely delighted. He might be getting himself into even more trouble. Paul Staniforth trying to keep him away, and in fact he's going to have to go back to the dressing room. And Stephen Meyer just needs to calm himself down. And I don't know whether you call that, but I don't think anyone caught his stick. Goes past Chilcott. Opportunity for the Clan, and they've got one through Fitzgerald. And the Stingrays home crowd can cheer a great victory. 6-2.
So an 8-3 loss to the team in 7th, followed by a 6-2 win against second place Braehead. Matt Denson, what would manager Omar Pasha, guest on the show next week by the way, what do you make of that?
Don't know. There's a lot going on, wasn't there? There's a lot there.
There always is in ice hockey, isn't there?
Absolutely, it's fast, it's frenzy, you know. It's got to be good value to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, and Matt, the other form of hockey, you get excited by that?
It's a very fast game, and I think that's what gets people excited about sport as a whole, really, is it's that fast, furious, excitement sort of things, and ice hockey is one of those that does that.
Yeah. Okay, well, time now for our weekly roundup of the sporting back pages in Paper Talk. What have you got, guys? Matt Denson, first of all.
Opportunities for me. There's a good story here in the Hull Daily Mail of the England manager, Roy Hodgson, coming down to see Huddleston play. And actually, Huddleston didn't have that good a game. One of those things, someone comes down, it's not your best game because he's been a great player for Hull. But on the spin-off from there, obviously while Roy Hodgson's watching the game, Jake Livermore, becomes, star man, plays very, very well, catches the attention. Yes, he might not get straight in the squad, but it's one of those, he's taken his opportunity. The boss is there, the England boss is there, and this guy's kind of stepped up to the plate and said, look, I'm here. I like that, just the opportunity that, make your opportunity, make that break in sport,
And make the most of it.
Absolutely, yes.
Competition's tight, isn't it?
Absolutely.
All round. Matt, what have you got?
I've picked out a piece from the Grimsby Evening Telegraph which talks about the Dartford manager praising the Mariners, and I think it's really important that you always look at how other teams perceive you, and I think from the way this reads is they see Grimsby as a fairly difficult side to play against, and a lot of opportunities that how we see them as a Grimsby Town sort of supporters and fans, and how another team sees how you play are quite important, and it's always useful to understand how others think and know so you can develop your tactics as well.
Shouldn't the Dartford manager be more concerned about his own side and then bigging up the opposition, don't you think?
I think he's just trying to deflect the fact that they've just, had a slight thumping of 3-0 and they'll be on the bus talking about it on the way home. But listen, it's nice when any manager turns around and is respectful. But he's got to look at his I was at that game. He's got to look at his side and see where he goes.
It's a great time for sports editors, isn't it, in the newspapers?
Yeah.
When the team's doing well,
Yes.
on the crest of a wave.
Yes.
You're not short of words, are you?
Always a good time to talk when teams are doing well and everyone wants to get on that crest of the wave. But often it's very difficult. It's when you have those difficult times and you've got to pat someone on the back and say, well done. Sometimes we find that more difficult and we need to learn to do that more.
Well, stay with the Mariners here in the Grimsby Evening Telegraph. New Grimsby Town Football Club Stadium plan progressing very well. Looks state of the art, looks fabulous there, Matt. Just remind us where this is and
just
what
out of town, isn't it? They're looking at moving the stadium. They've got to look at upgrading the facilities. It's been going on and bubbling for quite a long time now about moving. A lot of debate going on.
To Peaks Parkway.
Absolutely, to Peaks Parkway. Be a great place. Does it need to be as it is? There's a lot of questions to ask. I think it's a long way off. Some people are getting excited about it, but it's not going to happen overnight. The main thing is let's get the results on the pitch. Let's get a nice stadium once we go further.
It does look like many new stadium lacking character. If you're standing in one side of the ground, it's the same as standing on the other side. Whereas at Blundell Park, you know exactly where you are and where people have stood for years.
But isn't that about change and getting used to change? And sometimes you've got to move forward and be positive.
Sometimes the range of safety as well. Don't forget, Grimsby's got one of the oldest stands. So at some stage, something's got to be done.
Okay, well, I'll watch that one with interest, the new Grimsby Town Stadium. Let's stay with Matt Denson now with his reflections on the week's sporting news.
So what's gone on in the world of sport? It doesn't all happen on the field of play. By that I mean the cost to stay in top flight, whether it's football or any other sport. This has been highlighted this week by Formula One Grand Prix of America. 2 teams not able to take part. That's Caterham and Mauritia. Both got into administration. How can this be possible? On the upside, Lewis Hamilton won again, extending his lead in the Drivers' Championship. Is it his time to win? I believe it possibly is. In football, blood was seen between the 2 teams of Manchester, the Reds and the Blues, going head to head, obviously with the blue team coming out on top. And one final thing, Jose Mourinho, has he been playing mind games, asking his home support to make more noise, be louder and get behind the team? This is a team at the top. Well, I don't know, playing mind games with everybody, he is the genius. Now, one more thing, England are playing rugby this weekend. Get behind them, they're playing New Zealand. Don't forget, scream at your telly, get the ball over the line and get involved. It's going to be a great weekend for sport. Enjoy yourself. Rob, over to you.
Plenty to chew over there, Matt. Thank you for that. Well, that's it for this week. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, your thoughts or comments, do contact us via Facebook, Twitter or email. The details are on your screen now, of course. If you can't wait until next week, then you can catch On the Bench Extra on Saturday at 10 a.m. Well, thanks again to Matt Denson and to our guest, Matt Thompson. Thanks, Matt. The two Matts made it nice and easy for me this week for joining us. Thanks again to you for joining us as well. We'll see you again next week.